Hello and welcome to Sidequest. This is our weekly video game show here at Geekverse. I'm your host, Dylan Musk, and I have with me the Wind and Waves, Taylor Field. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing very, very well. Happy to be here. It's been a long time since I've been just on Sidequest with you. I think it was like the draft, all four of us, but
Oh
just
my God.
one-on-one.
Right. Because I guess you came back to do the draft even though you were kind of on pat leave at that time. And then I guess you've been back for a few weeks now, but it just so happened that I had other people lined up for Travis for some Resident Evil stuff, la-di-da, this kind of thing and that thing. So it's good to have you back for sure.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, so today's episode is going to be fun. We're going to be talking about the next generation of both Pokemon and Xbox. Funnily enough, two things kind of happening, similar announcement dates for these two things, and some games we've been playing, of course. But before that, I have a fun little topic for Taylor I'm curious to throw at him here. I'll get to some plugs later, but we can just jump right into it. Taylor, I was, looking around, moseying around, looking for any sort of news, fun news topics. And I discovered Game Informer recently released a ranking of the Assassin's Creed series. So I wanted to get your opinion on this and see if you think they nailed it or if they fucked it up. So that's what I want to do for you here.
Well, I'm just going to say Assassin's Creed 2's got to be number one on the list.
Okay. Well, we're going to start from the bottom of the... What do you think is at the bottom? I think there's 15 things... Close your eyes for 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 15 games on this list. I don't know if that includes, like... Well, there's not really big spin-offs other than, like, the 2D ones. I don't think they have those in here. There's 15 games, though. Is there 15 mainline games at this point? That sounds like more than there is.
I'm going to pull up a list here so I know how many there are. Over 14 main titles.
Okay. Exactly, 15.
So
the classic
that.
over 14. The answer is 15.
Because, I mean, spin-off ones, you've got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spin-off games, maybe 8.
Okay, so yeah, this is just the mainline series then?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So, off the top of your head, what do you think? And of course, this is not your ranking. This is what you think. I guess this is not just one person. This is the staff of Game Informer, I guess, collectively. So who do you think, which game, rather, do you think would be bottom of the pack? Is there kind of a consensus worst Assassin's Creed in the series?
Ooh, if I had to say the worst, I think it could, it's either Syndicate or Unity. I think it could be Unity. I think it had so much hate.
Okay. Let's find out. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation.
Liberation. Oh, well, fuck me. I didn't know that was going to be in there too.
What is that? What is
that
Liberation?
came out on the Vita. So that was a spin-off one of the main game Assassin's Creed, and then it brought over into Steam, and then they kind of mainlined it a little bit more.
Is it just a port, and it's just a bad port, or does it have like like a different truncated game or something?
It's its own story. I'd say it's like a port of Assassin's Creed 3, but they gave it its own story, its own character, and everything like that. I can't remember the girl's name that you play as in there, but that's what that is.
Okay, so is this weird to include on a ranking in your opinion, or is it like, yeah, I guess?
I think it's fair. I think it's earned its keep.
Yeah. Okay. So then I guess number 14, you're still going to go with Unity or Syndicate, probably?
Yeah, I'll go 14 Unity.
Okay, let's find out. Number 14 is Assassin's Creed 3.
I'm shocked. Really?
Is this just the base game?
That's the full base game.
Is 3 that bad? I knew people like 2 more, but I didn't think it was that quick of a drop-off.
I don't think 3 is outside of top 10. I don't think 3 belongs there. That's mumbo jumbo.
Is it a snowy environment in 3?
It's all seasons.
Oh, cool. Huh.
This is when they really got into their whole Anvil game engine with just the mechanics of how things went, whatever that means.
Yeah. Okay. So again, you're gonna keep predicting Unity and Syndicate till they show up.
It's got to be Unity next.
Okay,
I'm shocked.
Number 13, they have Mirage.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That kind of seems surprising to me. I feel like people really like Mirage.
Who's making this list? Who is the Game Informer
staff,
people?
Who I actually, I've heard a lot of them talk on podcasts and stuff, and I genuinely think they know what they're talking about. And
this is outrageous.
I use their calendar to find out what's coming out, so maybe I'll have to look for a new source. Maybe I shouldn't trust Game Informer going forward.
I get that Mirage had a very small map, but that game was a total... it was touching base on everything that Assassin's Creed kind of started as, that foundation. Yeah. I do not think that this deserves to be here because after Odyssey and gosh, Valhalla. You're
Yeah.
telling me Mirage is below those? Get out of here.
So do you think would you put where would you put 3 in Mirage?
I would put Mirage probably at least top 5.
Whoa. Top 5?
Yeah, it was a.
That's
I feel
crazy
like
high.
it
Wow.
took the feeling and the aesthetic and the vibes of the original Assassin's Creed, but
Okay.
modernized with its
So you would
modern
put that above 3
mechanics.
then for sure.
I would, because you're getting
Okay.
parkour game mechanics, which was awesome. The movement was so fluid and seamless, and then you're getting all that originality of Assassin's Creed. So a modern Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
title like this on that smaller scale, it was perfect. So I'd put like Mirage is definitely in my top 5, I'd say.
Interesting. Okay. Let's move along then. And now we have Revelations. So Unity and Syndicate still not
This
knocked off the list.
This surprises me a little bit, but I can kind of see it. I'm not even that
Okay.
hot on Revelations. I think the only place it has in its hypeness is its conclusion to the Ezio trilogy, and I guess Desmond's story.
Apparently, it's got a tower defense minigame. Was that fun? I like tower defense games.
It was okay. Yeah, the troops coming through and you're like setting up your towers and whatnot. It was fun that they incorporated something like that.
The article says it's terrible and interferes with the enjoyment of the rest of the game.
Okay, these people need to calm down.
Yeah, I
Unbelievable.
feel
They
like
were completely
articles are
optional.
this is the best thing ever. This is the worst thing ever. I feel like
I
that's
I do not
toxic.
remember the tower defense being forced. I remember it was just something that was accessible that you could do, and
Okay.
I think I did it once, and that was it. I was able to move on.
Okay. Number 11, we have Rogue.
I can see this. A lot of people aren't really familiar with Rogue, and Rogue is again another one that felt like a port of 3. Because how did that work? Ubisoft didn't want to leave people behind on previous gens, so they dropped Assassin's Creed Unity on Xbox One, and then they dropped Assassin's Creed Rogue on 360. So you get 2 brand new games, and yeah, so Rogue was a lot of fun because you got to play as a Templar, so an assassin that turned into a Templar. So it was a
Okay.
pretty good story, and that's like it's the prequel. It leads right into Assassin's Creed Unity.
Interesting. Skipping to the top before we get there, is it Assassin's Creed 2 at number 1, and then is Black Flag number 2 in the series, or is there something else that's
It's either gonna
below 2?
number 1 is definitely AC2, and then number 2 is either going to be Black Flag, Brotherhood, or the first Assassin's Creed. But I
Okay.
think it's going to
Get
be
what you
Black
mean.
Flag or Brotherhood, one of those two.
And then you think kind of like Odyssey and Valhalla maybe right below that.
They're gonna be
and then I presume we're
stupidly
about to
high.
get Syndicate and Unity because they haven't popped up yet.
I would think so. But yeah, Odyssey and Valhalla are going to be stupidly high, and Origins will be in here somewhere.
Okay. So where are we at? Number 10 is Unity. Okay, we
There's
finally got
Unity.
Unity off the board.
Yeah,
about
I'd
right?
put this.
Too
I mean,
high?
I'd put this a little bit higher because the introduction of 4-player co-op into one like session was a fantastic
That's cool.
experience. I remember running around the rooftops with my friends, and we were doing like a mission to go and like assassinate the target. It was absolutely so much fun, and this was a game changer. No other Assassin's Creed has this ability, and customizing your assassin. It was a full customization mode from the cowl to the
Cool.
chest pieces, the robes, the gauntlets, everything. It was just really great, but the no face glitch and stuff like that really freaked people out. So
A disaster at launch, according to
Yes.
the article.
yes.
I gotta say, this screenshot though, like I want to play this. Like this setting looks great.
Oh,
Big
it's a
riot.
fantastic game. Great game.
All right, number 9, we have the original Assassin's Creed.
That's higher than I thought, but that's
About middle of the
fair.
pack overall.
Yeah, it
Not
has
bad
not.
for the first in the series.
It's not bad. I don't know if it's aged the greatest, but it does still hold up.
Yeah. And number 8 is where we have Shadows. Oh, I kind of forgot about Shadows. Too new.
I thought that'd be a little higher, but I think a lot of people, where there was excitement, it's transitioned into not hypeness anymore.
Yeah, I feel like it vanished pretty quick. It really
Yes.
went back into the shadows pretty quickly.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
All right, number 7 is where we have Origins.
Okay, that seems about right.
Okay. We still haven't seen Syndicate, which you predicted would be at the bottom.
I was more inclined that Unity would kind of be up there. I thought
Okay.
Syndicate because a lot of people weren't too hot on Syndicate, but I'm happy with where it's going here.
All right, number 6, we've got Valhalla.
That's too high, man. I can't.
I thought it'd be
it's
too low. Like, I
high.
know you don't like that game, but I feel like most fans really maybe not maybe
Most
it's
do.
not maybe it's not Assassin's Creed fans that love it, but I feel like other people like it because it's more open worldy, Skyrim-y kind of game, right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay, and then what do you think is number 5? What do we have left? We have Revelations, 2, Black Flag, Brotherhood, and what have I not said? Odyssey, I guess.
No, because they said Revelations. So Brotherhood.
Wait,
We had Revelations already. Yeah, it's like 11,
Okay.
I think.
so Odyssey, we haven't seen.
We have
2,
Odyssey,
Black Flag, Brotherhood.
Syndicate, Black Flag, Brotherhood 2.
So we have so Syndicate's probably number 5. Would you say? Or do you think it's gonna be higher?
I'm gonna go. I think all my gut feelings have been wrong, so I'm gonna say it's Brotherhood. Brotherhood's
Okay.
next.
Number 5 is Assassin's Creed 2.
Get the
That
fuck
seems-
out!
that
This is
seems
invalid.
kind of
This
crazy.
is invalid. Invalid.
I don't know
Unbelievable.
this series, but that seems really weird.
I'm pretty sure if you were to go on Metacritic, Assassin's Creed 2 is the highest rated Assassin's Creed. Like that's the be all end all of games. The Ezio character was like I remember that was a Game of the Year contender, which it lost to Dishonored, I believe, in that Game of the Year. That was
Well.
back during the Spike Game of the Year awards.
Okay. I mean, Dishonored didn't come out in 2009, so I don't think that quite lines up. But
No, it was definitely a Dishonored.
Bio-
or
Bioshock,
maybe it could have been a BioShock.
because I think
I remember
Bioshock came out. No, Bioshock 2007 maybe.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But I know that like this is the bee's knees of Assassin's Creed games. The fact that they are putting it at this rank,
This is kind of crazy. I
I'm
feel like
shocked.
this list is gonna have like Odyssey at number 1. That's the vibe.
I know we're closing ship. Fucking
Or
Odyssey
Brotherhood.
at number 1.
Or
I'd
not
take
Brotherhood, Sorry, the Black Flag. I was gonna say.
Black Flag at number 1. I could definitely see that. And I mean, my biased pick would be Brotherhood at number 1. But all right, let's
Yeah.
see what 4 is. It's gonna be something ridiculous.
Black Flag.
That's not fair. That's not right. Like
Yeah, what you thought would be kind of maybe 1 and 2 are down here at 4 and 5.
2 should definitely be higher than Black Flag, but Black Flag easily should, I'd say, be top 3. That game was a fantastic story. The naval combat and the open ocean and everything with the whale hunting and just the assassin story. It was such a change of pace what they
Yeah.
did. So I just can't believe this.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to, make you so aggravated tonight. I thought this would be a fun time, but it turns out to be a bit of torture for you, unfortunately. Let's find out. Number 3 here is Odyssey.
Absolutely unacceptable. There's no way Odyssey trumps over Assassin's Creed 2 and Black Flag. That is complete hocus pocus.
So it's Syndicate and Brotherhood that we haven't seen yet, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And number 2, we have Syndicate, which means number 1 is Brotherhood.
Okay, now Brotherhood is definitely, I'm pretty sure I said in the past, my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I love 2. I think 2 is amazing. With Brotherhood, just look at that picture with Brotherhood. You get Ezio back, and you get your assassins that you get to have fight with you too. That was like
Do you
the
control
bee's
these other
knees.
characters? Or do they,
You
like, your
can call
policy?
them into combat, so they're fighting with you.
I
which,
definitely want these people backing me up. I can
Oh
see
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. So I think Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was a wonderful story. I remember the trailer came out and it was just the bee's knees. Syndicate being here, I would have liked it not as number 2, still in this higher realm, but it does not beat Assassin's Creed 2 by any means, or
Yeah.
does it beat Black Flag? That's bonkers.
Yeah, I gotta say, this list seems pretty whack to me. I'm not gonna lie. As someone who's not as nearly as invested, what would you give this ranking on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1 to 10, I give it an easy 1 being the bottom.
1?
I give
Wow.
it 1 point because of where Brotherhood is at number 1. I respect that.
Yeah.
That's a very biased pick, I'd say. But some of these, no, this is not. I just disagree with many of these
Yeah.
listings here. Where was Origins, by the way?
Origins was at number
Okay.
7.
That was number 7. Okay.
Kind of right under Valhalla. Yeah.
Brutal.
Wow.
Brutal.
Well, nice try, Game Informer. You've failed this time, but maybe next time you'll get it right. Let's roll right into games we've been playing. Taylor, take it away. What have you been playing? Because I think for me, only Resident Evil Requiem, which I beat, and we did that review. Me and Travis haven't played a little bit more Spider-Man, but still, I'm waiting on my Spider-Man thoughts till I finish that game, which is taking a long time. But yeah, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been deep diving into Pokemon Fire Red on
Oh,
the Nintendo
nice.
Switch. Yes. This is one that I didn't play it back on the Game Boy days because that was the time when I was playing Sapphire. So the two kind of, I believe, they weren't released the same year, but they were released within a close proximity because you can trade between the two games. I remember my cousin had Fire Red, I had Sapphire, and so we were trading and battling with each other to add more to our Pokédexes and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, the game is so far an absolute delight. I don't know if I've ever fully played through like the Kanto region adventure because I
Mm.
had Pokemon Blue back in the day for Game Boy Color, but the save didn't work, so I'd always get like
Right,
one
I remember that
save and then it
story.
would
Yeah.
crap out, have to restart. Um, what else was there though? After that, it was just Sapphire and then Heart Gold. Heart Gold was fun, so I guess that's actually not. I have to redact my statement of not having a Kanto adventure because Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you go through the Johto region, all that Gen 2 stuff, and then after you complete the league, you get to travel to Kanto and do the
Whoa,
whole Kanto region,
that's
which
really
was
cool.
super cool.
I
It
didn't
was
know that.
very cool, yeah. And when you get there, all the gyms and all the trainers are higher levels, like the 70 level to
Mm.
80 level range. So by the time you get your Pokemon up to 50, 60, beating Johto, and you get to Kanto, it's like, okay, this is like the next
You
tier.
got
It's like
more
the
to
harder
aspire
dungeons
towards.
in Zelda, kind of.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, so that was a good time. So that's probably my only playthrough with Kanto. And I played all the other ones in different regions, but going through it here has been a lot of fun. And there's been the odd time too where like, I pass the controller to Madison and I'll tend to the kids or do something, and then she'll do some of the battles. But we've done the fourth gym now out of 8, and what my team consists of uh, Gyarados, War
Mm-hmm.
Turtle, uh, Growlithe, Pikachu. Oh God, what's the other one that I got? Um, why am I forgetting? Oh, Pidgeotto. Jesus crikey,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Pidgeotto. And then I've got Paras in there too, because I need my cut boy to cut
Yeah.
those trees out of the way for me. But
Yeah.
as soon as I got Magikarp, I was like, okay, we're gonna get this guy leveled up pretty quick, and he's nice. I mean, so far my roster that I mainly use with Pikachu, War Turtle, Gyarados, and Pidgeotto are all around like the 30, 32 level. But Pidgeotto is my main guy. Once he gets to Pidgeot, I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
riding that high for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I was really excited to see that those were coming to Switch Online. I didn't catch that they were out now. That's pretty awesome because yeah, that's definitely an era of Pokemon I've not played. I mean I have not played a ton of the series, and I've always kind of been a little disappointed with the availability of Pokemon games on Switch Online service. Like they have a lot of the spin-offs, they have your stadiums and coliseums, they have the original Snap, which are all cool things and great things to have on there. But in terms of like the mainline titles, there's really not a lot on there. And I think a lot of those were on like DS or 3DS and things like that, which obviously those are not going to make it onto the Switch as things are. But I'm really happy to see these ones on there because I haven't played these games before, and it seems like a good way to play the OG games, but in just a more like a lot more quality of life, better graphics, more like
Hmm.
actually having like the color graphics and stuff. So I'm
Well,
excited to check this out at some point.
playing on the TV it's really nice. It's beautiful, but it's definitely like it's squared off. This has been the few times where I've just been playing on handheld on my Switch
Mm-hmm.
screen, and it's like this is just gorgeous. Oh
Yeah,
my
super
God, it's
vibrant. Yeah.
beautiful. But I'm really happy with a couple of the things that they've done so far. And of course, I haven't beaten the league, but we're in the Game Boy version. You get the events tickets to get I think it was Deoxys, Lugia, and Ho-Oh. And so now they've just added those in. Once you beat the league, you get the tickets to go get those 3 legendaries,
Nice.
which is really nice. And then the people were looking into it and found that there was some stuff for Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire in there. So people are speculating that we're gonna get those next on the Switch
I
too at
wonder
some
because they have
point.
like that full-on remake that they released a couple of years back.
Yeah, Alpha.
So I would wager that would like
Yeah.
take sales away, so they wouldn't want to do that. But
I mean,
I
those
don't know.
I haven't even seen those available in the store anymore. And I've got Alpha Sapphire. I love that. It's got so much extra like doodads in there. But
Yeah.
if they drop an original Pokemon Sapphire on the store, I'm gonna be playing that for sure. That would be so much fun. But I'm just very very happy, and this was a big kicker for me was the fact that they are putting Pokemon Bank or sorry, Pokemon Home connections to tie in with Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. I think that's
so
wonderful.
cool. These old
So
ass
cool.
games, being able to carry over your characters is so
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big advocate for doing that because, as I said, Pokemon Sapphire is what I played back in the day. That was where I was getting my jam, and I got all my guys, my Kyogre, my favorite Pride and Joy Kyogre, and a whole bunch of my other guys like my Sceptile and whatnot that I ported over from Game Boy
Hmm.
onto the DS, and then into the Nintendo 3DS, and then so forth and so forth. And I mean, these are guys that I've played with on the GameCube and whatnot too. Like it's the ultimate. What is it called? Tamagotchis. It's like the ultimate
Yeah.
Tamagotchi, just carrying these pets with you. I've had them since 2005. I mean, that's like, what are we, 21 years? No freaking way.
Yeah, how does that work? Is and this is probably a really stupid question, but that's just how out of Pokemon I am. Like, is there a website? Is it like an app on your phone? Is it both? Like, how do you kind of move these things around between games?
So, yeah, before it was definitely, I mean, it was apps, and a lot of the apps you can't get anymore. Like the Pokemon Bank, you can't download on your DS anymore. But if you have it downloaded, then you've got it downloaded. But I mean, the main thing, like, I don't know if you can see it, but you got the
Yeah.
app Pokemon Home on there, which is nice. And I was kind of leery about the whole idea of putting my Pokemon in here, but I wanted to keep them concurrent. And so I've been able to put some of them into Scarlet, I think is the one that I have.
Hmm.
And so it's cool to have your OG 2D Pokemon and just to transfer them over into the 3D aspect, and you can see them in this modern style. Like it's weird. I don't know how
Yeah.
my brain can't comprehend it. Almost, it's crazy to kind of interpret that. Let's see here. Why do I have that there? But I mean, you can see. Maybe you can see kind
Just your
of
roster of guys.
just the
Yeah, it kind of looks like
roster.
on Snap or not Snap. Sorry, Go. You just scroll through all your guys that
Yeah.
you got.
Well, that's it. Like this guy I transferred from Pokemon Go. So that's the cool thing too. Pokemon Go Pokemon can be transferred into here. And then I think you can put them into like the main game. Um
Yeah, it's really cool. That's pretty miraculous, I guess. I mean, it's all really like they just kind of have the same stats. They don't change. But you'd think that like even balance wise, that would be really hard to balance from 20-year-old games to now. But
oh, for sure.
it just works.
Like, and it's nice too because I mean there's my Rayquaza, and if you scroll down then it says, "Oh, first met in the Hoenn region 2011." Is when
That's
I met him, but
that's cool. That's so cool.
that 2011 isn't as far back as it is when I got him. 2011 is when it started actually, I think, dating it when I transferred it to the game.
Oh,
So I would have
okay.
transferred that over to the DS version, I'm pretty sure, and then it would have started to, because
Wow.
from the DS to Game Boy, I'm pretty sure it was game to game because you migrate them.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, it was putting them into the Pokemon Bank, which was an app on the DS. And so then you could put in other Pokemon games and just be like moving them around off of one handheld. Whereas before, you always needed two. And so now it's just, yeah, it's all on your phone. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to jump into those Fire Red or Leaf Green. Which version should I do? Is there like a certain? What's the big deal between the two differences?
Well, it always comes down to Pokemon exclusives, right?
Yeah, I guess I should just look at that list to make sure I pick the right one for the guys
Yeah,
that I care
'cause
about.
that's exactly it. And I'm glad because I think Growlithe. Oh, I did Growlithe was not. Okay, so Leaf Green includes Sandshrew, Vulpix, Bellsprout, Slowpoke, Staryu, Magmar, and Pinsir. And then Fire Red has Ekans, Oddish, Growlithe, Psyduck, Shelder, Scyther, and Electabuzz. So for me, the big kickers,
That's tough, man.
that is
There's some
tough.
goodies in both of those.
Growlithe and Scyther. Growlithe is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. But Scyther is another guy I'm hunting for my team, at least until I get. I figure out getting an Alakazam because you got to do the trades, right? Kadabra,
Yeah.
Machoke, Graveler, and the fourth, not Gas Haunter. You got to trade those four dudes to get them evolved through trades. So
Oh, interesting.
just
I
like
didn't know
back
that.
in the olden days, yeah.
God, so many extra steps to get all this stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Anything else in the what we've been playing section you wanted to highlight?
Um, This is more like a month and a half to 2 months ago, but I think I'm just gonna shut it out just for the heck of it because me and Travis did try Outlast Trials and we did the
Oh yeah,
tried some of the new stuff. We didn't get around to trying against the new DLC with the evil lady chick in there, which I want to try. But
yeah.
what we did do was we did the trials where you got to invade other people's trials, and that was so much fun.
Oh, that's
It was
fun.
really cool. So there's the group of people, they're doing their thing like we were doing, playing the game, trying to do their missions, and then you know how those copycats come out and you can't
Yeah,
tell if it's a person or not.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you play as those, and you get a limited time frame of like 2 minutes in the round. Then you got to go and leave and then come back after you recharge. So you go in there, and you have a different set of perks, a different set of fighting things and tools at your disposal, but you
Damn,
got to
that sounds so
pretend.
fun.
It's so much fun. You got to pretend to be one of them, and then you got to kill them. And so your teammates can watch the cameras and guide you to like, oh, there's a player over here, there's a player here, and it's an absolute hell of a time. Me and Travis had a lot of fun with it.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, I didn't realize that was an update that was added. I thought it was just more villains and stuff. So that's a
They made
huge
some
change.
big strides in that game for DLC so far.
That's great. Yeah, let's definitely plan a session to play some more of that soon. I want to get back in there, get back and do some trials. But how about with that, we take our first break. For anyone who, here for more Pokemon chat, we will go get right back to Pokemon in a minute. But just, of course, want to shout out our wonderful Patreon producers. We've got Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, TGGLM69, aka NRF, Hidalgo, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John with no H, Sam Green, and John M. Thank you all so much for keeping the lights on here at Geekverse. All sorts of stuff hitting the feeds these days, especially on Patreon. You get all sorts of fun voting power. You get to pick movies that we have to watch, which we just found out a new one that we got to do today, The Dark Crystal, which I'm excited about. I know Taylor's like a fan of that one, so we'll see what kind of freakish stuff we get going on with that one. And yeah, episodes early and ad-free. It's definitely the best place to go to support the show. I'm also going to shout out our Discord, which is always fun to join, especially because Taylor just gave it a makeover. He put some nail polish on it, put some eyeshadow on, gave it a new gown, so it's looking good. Definitely the best time to join. And yeah, there's some new features in there, just things reorganized. It's looking better. It's running better. And also, if you're a Patreon producer, there's an exclusive channel in there where, you can just chat as well. So it's like an exclusive little VIP room. Extra fun stuff. So all sorts of good stuff. Check all that out. And let's jump to our first ad break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and we're going to go right back to the realm of Pokemon because there was a Pokemon Presents. This was a couple weeks ago now, but I had to wait. I would not subject Travis to talk about the next generation of Pokemon, but that's why I got you here, Taylor. So we already talked about the Fire Red Leaf Green thing. That was part of the Pokemon Presents. Of course, the big thing is the next generation. Was there anything else from that Presents, though, that stood out to you? Anything noteworthy?
Oh my goodness! I mean, the champions has me really really excited. I think that's probably
What
the
is that?
only. So take out the gym leagues, the Elite Four, the traveling around, the catching Pokemon. We're talking just battles, trainer
Oh,
battles
okay.
only. So we're dealing with handheld and on Switch, which is really really awesome. And now it looks like not all Pokemon are going to be available to bring in, but the big factor is okay. Like I was talking about earlier with Sapphire, my dudes that I have in the OG there, I that are sitting in my Pokemon home, I can bring them into champions and I can use them in my
Okay.
team and I can fight with. So that's
So
basically
that's
it.
kind of just like is that like almost like a live service version of Pokemon? If you just want to do battles, that's kind of the place to go?
Yeah, that looks
Okay.
like it's going to be the place to be. Yeah. So and I think that it comes out soon. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
this
so it's not
March.
already, it doesn't already exist. If you want to just
No.
battle now, is there like a different game that you would
You
do
you
that
can
in?
just battle in the main game. Like that's
Yeah.
just yeah. So Pokemon Champions is coming out Switch in April 2026.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's perfect. Oh my
Cool.
goodness.
That's exciting. Uh, and okay, I guess we can jump into wind and waves, wind and waves. I guess
Sure.
that makes the most sense. The next generation. What generation are we on? A 10, 11?
I want to say we're 11, Gen
That sounds
10. No, we're at 10 now. We're at
Okay,
10.
number
Yeah,
10. That's a big deal. Double
double
digits
digits.
finally. Yes, this is a game coming out. Of course, two games, I guess, coming out next year, 2027, Switch 2 only. And I feel like that one of my first impressions here is so many times whenever I see a Pokemon trailer, I'm like, man, this game looks like ass, or it has a horrendous frame rate. I still have the Patreon producers up. I just realized. Horrendous frame rate. It just looks bad. Looks old. Looks like they just are cranking it out, and it's still gonna sell a bunch of copies. They don't need to make it look good. But I think I was blown away by how good this game looks, and it looked like a lot of in-engine stuff too. Frame rate looked pretty solid, which, even with YouTube compression, sometimes that just janks things out, but this actually looked pretty good. The water and like going underwater and stuff, everything looked gorgeous. The environments, I was like, damn, I was impressed. And, it's not like it's like Horizon Zero Dawn levels of visual fidelity or something. But, as far as like a Nintendo game, a Switch game, I was pretty impressed. I think it looked really good, just straight up visually and in terms of like just the frame rates. Now, of course, this is like the earliest teaser trailer, so I'm sure when we're getting more trailers in the future, maybe some things will not look so good around the edges. But it sounds like they're really pushing the Switch 2 to its limits, I get, or maybe not. Maybe that's not quite true, but at least they're not being held back by what the Switch 1 was in terms of performance and stuff like we saw with Scarlet and Violet, even though that was years after the Switch originally came out. So yeah, that was my first impression, is that I was quite impressed, which is a rare thing for Pokemon.
Yeah, I was really really shocked because the first thing I was looking at. Sorry,
Like,
Madison was doing something. I was not expecting the beeps. um, the first thing I was looking at was how's this grass and this foliage,
mm,
the trees gonna look?
yep,
Because the last one, Scarlet and Violet, it was just garbage. I was running around that region and I was thinking, man, this grass looks terrible. It's so two dimensional, which is weird in a three-dimensional game at this point. So I was hoping for better. And I feel like we got it in this trailer because in this what they showed is the world looks beautiful, going under the water, above the water, and just seeing all this the landscape and everything. It looks like this is actually something that I've been waiting for in a Pokemon game. And I haven't really looked at Legends too much. I know ZA. I haven't really looked at any gameplay to necessarily see what it looks like. I'm assuming it's
yep.
probably much better than Scarlet and Violet, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess in terms
it's
of like just grass, there's not a lot of grass in the game. So if you're just
no,
looking at the
you're just in the
grass
city.
comparisons, you're not going to get a lot of it there.
That's right. Yeah. But other than that, I really am looking forward to this game. And I think my excitement is already there a lot higher than it was for Scarlet and Violet. When I play Scarlet and Violet, I feel overwhelmed. And it's funny because when I compare that to Fire Red. Fire Red is just like I'm craving it. I want to go play it right now. Like every time I have a little bit of spare time to just hop on there and play it and just
hmm
keep doing the game. Like it's so much fun, and it's such a different feeling than playing Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet doesn't have that for me, and it's weird
Yeah.
because it's the same thing. It's just separated by generations, and obviously one's a little bit more visually appealing, Fire Red, than
Yeah.
the other, but. Yeah, I'm hoping that, and so far I feel it a little bit ignited inside of me that this new one, Wind and Waves, is going to be kind of establishing that foundation to kind of get me excited and want to pull
Yeah.
me in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like mechanically it's hard to know too much about what's new or fresher. I'm sure there's going to be a new like Mega Evolution equivalent thing. There's always something like that. Alolan forms, all these crazy things in these new games. We don't really know that many details at this point of what like the actual gameplay is going to look like. We don't even really know if it's going to be the more Legends type, like not so much turn based, or if this is going to be the classic turn. I assume it's going to be more turn based, and they'll keep the Legends thing as like a separate like spin off series now, where that's more like real time stuff. But we don't really know for sure. We see like a one shot or two of the trainer catching a Pokemon or something, but like we don't really know for sure. But yeah, in terms of the setting, I love it. Kind of like a tropical island and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like going underwater, like, is there another Pokemon game where you like you're always on water, you're always swimming around, getting water types, but I feel like you don't really go underwater very often. So that seemed like a new kind of thing. Like, is there another game where you can go underwater, get put on some scuba gear and just cruise around there?
Um, you so in Pokemon Sapphire, you could learn the HM dive, and so you could actually go underwater and explore
Okay,
caverns and do underwater things
okay.
and whatnot.
But
So there is
how about in a
definitely
3D game like this?
I don't recall. I
Yeah,
don't think I've seen it. No.
that's cool. Yeah, the only
Hmm.
thing I can think of is in new Pokemon Snap. There's obviously some water levels where you're like in your under submerged, going around doing your stuff, but obviously that's a very different kind of thing. So, are you excited for the and like I guess the winds part too? Like, do you think are we going to go into like some Sky Island stuff too? Is it going to be kind of like Zelda in that way? Like, what is the waves make sense if we're like going underwater and doing stuff, but what is the wind? Where does the wind come into it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Zelda because I feel like Wind Waker was just screaming when I was looking at this game a little bit, just
Right.
the ocean and all that kind of stuff. So, no, where does the wind come into this? Gosh, I think you're just,
Maybe you
yeah,
have like a glider and you can fly around the island, probably something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Because you can
Yeah,
already
or
do
I
that in like
think,
Legends Arceus, I think, right?
I don't know,
You
but
can
I
like
know when
ride
you
on
look at
not pterodactyls, whatever, aerodactyls, whatever's going on in that game.
the two HMs that you got Surf and you got Fly, and those are two like Gen 1 HM moves along with
Yeah,
Cut and Strength and whatnot. But I mean, Cut and Strength, you can't make a game off of that.
yeah.
You can make a game off of Fly and you can make a game off of Surf. So when you look at this and you just got a lot more ocean exploration with, your Surf HM, and you got the ability to get on your Pokemon and fly in the sky with Fly, like I think
Hmm.
that's pretty cool. I also think that this game is maybe trying to challenge certain things in regards to Pal World and what it's presenting in
Oh,
itself. And
you
maybe
think
I'm
they're
just
gonna give
reading.
Pikachu a assault rifle?
They're gonna go full military in here, weaponized. No, I just think that there's certain things that Pal World kind of introduced that might have put Nintendo Game Freak on their toes a little bit. So I think they probably are gonna. They're sprucing up a little bit of
Yeah,
the mechanics in this game a little bit more to kind of get people pumped.
yeah. I mean, I feel like the locomotion seems to be a focus of a lot of the recent games. Like I do remember that being a thing in Arceus where you could ride creatures, some of them
Hmm.
flying, other ones just like cruise around on a Arcanine or whatever. And then I feel like obviously in Scarlet and Violet, that was like the motorbike Pokemon, right, where you could cruise
Oh
around them on
God.
those,
No.
which was goofy, but like that was a key selling feature of like the locomotion of the game. And so I feel like adding something to make just cruising around in the water or flying around. That seems like the next natural step in terms of the locomotion side of things. So it seems like a good way to go. We saw a lot of familiar faces, of course, from all the generations. A lot of familiar Pokemon. I think the only three new ones we have are the starters. Is that right? Did you see any other new guys in there?
No, those three starters were the only ones that I saw that were new.
Okay, so we got Brout, Brout probably, who's like a grass owl type. We've got Palm Bon, who's like a fire chihuahua looking thing, and then we got Gekwa, who's like a
Hmm.
water salamander. I feel like you're a Growlithe guy, so are you gonna go for Palm Bon then? Because it's like another fire dog thing.
Uh, well, here I've got a. I'm not going Palm Bomb. I've got a problem though with
Oh,
these starters.
tell me the problem.
So
I feel like we've seen all of these Pokemon before. That was my first
yes,
impression. Like, because I feel
you're
like Gekwa
absolutely
is
right.
pretty much just like Greninja, and Brout. Like, isn't there already a Grass Owl? Yeah, yeah, you got him right here, Rowlet,
Grass Owl.
and he has a
That's
very similar name
absolutely it.
too.
Yes, Rowlet, and then we've got Fennekin. So we got a fire.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
more of
yeah.
like a fox versus a
Was
dog, but
Fennekin a
still,
starter?
these are starters. Yeah,
Okay.
and then obviously Sobble, which I'd relate much more to Gekwa, because I mean it's a water lizard, right? I mean,
Yeah, I thought Gekwa to me looked a little bit more. Well, what is Greninja's first form?
Froakie the frog.
Froakie. So I guess he doesn't really look like Froakie, but he looks more like Greninja-y.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm.
Pretty uninspired for the starters, I will say. But,
Yeah.
at this point in Pokemon, we recycle a lot of ideas, but these ones didn't really excite me personally.
No, I mean everyone's freaking out about Pombon a lot.
In what way? Good way or bad way?
A good way, a good way. Personally, I think
Really?
the Angry Birds bird, I'm kind of enjoying it, but I I think Gekwa might be my go-to, and I don't often
Yeah.
go with water starters. With Fire Red, I went with Squirtle because I wanted to do something very different. My heart, I wanted to do Charmander, and I've done grass types a few times because I did Trico, I did
Mm-hmm.
Snivy, I've done Rowlet.
Yeah,
I can't remember the other guy's name. Turtwig. I've done a few.
love
But
Turtwig. Yeah.
water types aside from Froakie, I've never really focused on.
Okay.
So, but this Gekwa seems to be kind of like up my alley. One of my friends though was talking about how Pombon, that mane on the dog is just going to be a giant shield of some kind in its final form.
I guess it does kind of look like the Sword and Shield, like the Shield guy,
Yes,
that legendary.
absolutely.
What
It
is that guy's
does.
name, by the way?
Oh, like Zakana or something like that.
Okay,
I can't remember.
some goofy thing.
But
Yeah, I feel like I'm normally a grass type kind of guy. Rarely fire type, but I think when I did Emerald, I think I went with the fire guy there recently. And I guess
oh yeah, Torchic.
I think
Oh,
I went
nice.
Torchic, which was kind of against type for me, but I'm like, I want to switch it up here. Like the same reason why you kind of went with Squirtle. And then I didn't play the last generation Scarlet Violet, but Sobble was the only of the starters that I liked at all. And so second generation in a row where I'm like, okay, Gekwa, not the most inspired design by any means, but the one that called out to me the most, because Brout is too Rowlety. Like that, that's the least kind of creative one, I think. So kind of unexciting for me there. But Gekwa was maybe the most interesting looking one. So I think I would go. I don't know if I'll get this game this generation, to be honest. Maybe 10 years from now. But I feel like if I were to get any, go with any of them, I'd probably go with Gekwa, the water salamander.
Yeah, that's
But I
yeah.
can't really picture him turning into anything other than just looking like Greninja, which I do love Greninja, so that works out well.
This is a good little picture here showing all the starters actually.
Oh yeah,
And Rowlet doesn't even feel like 2 generations ago. I forget about like I think Groki is the monkey's name, and then
shout out to Groki.
can't remember the cat's name there. Goodness me.
Wasn't it like, I don't know. I can't remember either. I feel like the fire ones have the most variety for the most part.
They do. I mean, yeah, because you got the chicken, you got the monkey, the pig, the fox, the cat, the bunny, the little dinosaur, now the dog, and then the lizard, and then what is
Like a lot of salamandery looking things for the water types.
yes. Yes. I never liked Mudkip that much.
Wow, you're
I
gonna get a
know.
lot of hate for saying that.
Sceptile and Blaziken, man, Blaziken was just so sick. It was one of my
Man, Gen
favorites.
2, they were cooking. I love the designs of all three Gen 2 ones.
They were. They just look so different from the rest.
Cyndaquil, yeah, always like the fire hair has always been the most frantic look ever. I love it.
He's the only one with the closed eyes too of everyone else.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then I always loved Turtwig. Always thought he was great. Generation after that, I think, is a bunch of snoozers, and the generation after that, and the generation after that. And then
I'll
I
give-
think
I'll
I think
give
Groki, they
Greninja.
were kind of cooking there. I like
They were.
Groki or Grooky, whatever his name is.
Did you ever see Greninja's like extra his fourth form?
Absolutely not, but I want to.
So it's not Mega Evolution, but this is when him and Ash would sync, and he just looks so fucking sick. The Shuriken goes on his back,
He's got the
and then
thing
he
going
gets
on.
like the red mark on his head.
That is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's just beautiful, beautiful. Ash's Greninja, just
That's sweet. Because
Yeah.
Greninja's a starter. Like, well,
Yeah.
begins as a starter, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Those are the three. We didn't see any other newbies. So yeah, if you had to pick today, which one would you pick? If you had the game right now, which starter are you
Gekwa.
selecting? Going with water as well?
Going with water. Then second would be the bird. Third would be the dog. I'm
Okay.
not
And which
feeling that.
version? Wind or wave? Without obviously seeing which Pokemon are actually exclusive.
going-
Like, what would you go with right off
I'm
the
going
hop?
wave right off the hop.
You're more a wave guy?
Yeah.
I feel like that is a bit more fun, but we still don't really know what the wind really means, I think.
No idea. I mean,
Yeah.
wave could include 10, like, you could have Rayquaza flying around for all I know, and Deoxys, everything in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm there. But, I mean, if they throw a Kyogre and wave, that's just going to steal the deal even more. Put a Kyogre in there, please. Please, I beg you.
Yeah, why not? What were my other notes? I mean, I already kind of mentioned the visuals, but I thought the lighting was really great in here as well. I feel like I'm used to Pokemon games not really having lighting. It's just like one static light source and everything kind of has like the exact same shade to it, but I thought it looked quite nice. And yeah, we don't really know too much else. I did see apparently there's some. I was reading this article on Polygon, I think it was, that was speculating that like I think there's been like 10 type fusions. You know how there's always like maybe you're like rock and water or something.
Mm-hmm.
A Pokemon have like 2 types. There's like 10 or so type combinations that have never happened, and I think one of them is fairy fire, and so they're theorizing maybe that's what the starter could be. I don't know if I really get the fairy vibe from what we saw here, but I guess that's one of the things that needs to get knocked off the list is a
From
fire
Pombon as fairy.
This is like maybe like a harebrained scheme. Like maybe this could be finally time we get a fire fairy. I don't really see it personally, but who knows? They always have quite the glow up in their second and third forms.
Okay, I was so Fennekin. I thought that's the Firefox. It's obviously a fire type starter. I thought that was a fairy type as well, but it is solely a fire type. But its final move has like it can do psychic moves because its final move it has like a wand that's a fire stick, like a stick on fire, I guess. And I always thought that was.
Is it officially a fire psychic type, or does it just have a couple psychic moves?
Its final form is fire psychic.
That's cool. I like that combination.
Let me just confirm that. Yeah, fire psychic. So neat. Yeah, neat.
I think one of the other ones is that like a bunch of normal and like other types hasn't happened yet, which is like, why do we even have normal type anymore?
No. That's the Ratatats and.
Okay, well don't Ratatat. That's my boy. Raticate though, fuck, I hate that guy. But Ratatat is the best. Did that ever get a third form? Has there ever been a third rat?
Third rat. You got the Galarian versions. You ever seen those?
Oh god, Galarian Raticate.
I'll show you.
I have not seen that. What is Galarian again? What game is that from?
Oh my god, I have no idea. I can't remember.
Some 3DS thing, I'm gonna guess.
It might be. So here you got the Galarian Rattata.
Cool. He's got a weird little mustache.
And then here's the Raticate.
Oh god, that is cursed. Yeah, I don't like Raticate. A lot of the forms? Not a Raticate fan.
What do you got? Because you got the Galarian Weezing.
I love, the bong rip Weezing is the best.
Galarian Rapidash, which is super unicorny. I love it.
I don't like that too.
The
MLP
Farfetch'd.
for me. I love the Farfetch. Surfetch'd is the best. I like the Meowth.
The Meowth. And the legendary birds. I really like those too.
Those are cool. Yeah. I don't like the guy in the bottom right. What's that guy called again?
Obstagoon, I think. I
like
love
that.
him. He's so cool. He looks like he's mischievous. Yeah.
Do you think that Brout, Pombon, or Gekwa's evolution, one of them will be a playable fighter in the next Smash Bros?
I'm gonna say no. I think there'll be trophies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll get Pokemon Trainer with those 3 types. And then you'll get.
Because not every
Mewtwo,
generation has had a
Pikachu.
fighter represented, but Incineroar was in there for Ultimate. So I guess Scarlet and Violet hasn't had the opportunity to really have a character in there. Wait, is Sword and Shield Incineroar, or is he before that?
I'm
really quizzing you on your Pokemon knowledge today.
He's a Sword and Shield starter, I'm sure. No, he's not. Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble are the Sword and Shield starters.
Wow,
Scorbunny.
so the whole Switch generation didn't really have any Smash character representation. That's kind of crazy. So I guess there's a lot of options they could go for. They don't have to necessarily go with the most recent one.
That's right.
But they'll have one. They always have a new Pokemon as a playable character in
I think so that starter Scorbunny, I think his third form Cinderace could be the one that could get in there.
Please not.
The martial arts rabbit.
Looks like Pennywise or something. Stupid looking bunny. I don't like that design at all. 0 out of 10 for me on that.
Looks like a Strikers character.
Kinda, yeah, put him in Strikers, but not in Smash. Cool. Any other Pokemon thoughts?
Ooh, I can't think so. No.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good discussion, and then we can close it out with a little bit of Xbox. So before we talk about the new hardware announcement that we got, just scrolling back a couple weeks of when the Phil Spencer Sarah Bond announcement happened. Since you're a big Xbox guy, wondering if you have any thoughts you wanted to share on them leaving or the new person in their position joining. Any thoughts on just the leadership changes over there on Xbox?
Um, it's. I feel like it's a long time coming. This has been something that we've been kind of sitting on for a while. That Phil Spencer just has not been cooking as well as he should be. So yeah, I mean they say resignation, but how do we know really what it's like on the internal side of things, where maybe he's getting a lot of backlash. Maybe people are asking him to step down, and
Yeah.
instead of firing, we're just going to change the words to retire and stuff like that. Yeah, so I just think that these individuals that are stepping down, I think it's okay, and I think it's a good thing because Xbox was not heading in a very great direction. And if it's not going the right way, then you got to look
Yeah.
at the leadership.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for me, it always really comes back to the Activision Blizzard acquisition. That was just such a awful move for the company, I think, overall. And just like it happened so many years ago now, it feels like, but just the fallout of it has been, years worth of kind of catching up and all that. So we'll see what happens with this new leadership. But one thing we can kind of more tangibly look at is that Xbox has announced Project Helix, which is the kind of, I guess, code name of their next generation of hardware. Uh, Release date, we don't really know. I think they roughly said like 2027, but I think also PlayStation said that, but like it's kind of get kicked down the road just because of chip shortages and stuff right now. Like I doubt they're going to launch this console next year. That seems a bit too soon. But it is kind of what we've heard in recent times, which is that they've been hinting that their next generation hardware is going to be extremely high end, a premium, also therefore meaning very expensive, and maybe just going for a different market than the Switch market or even the PlayStation market, going for a higher end, more striking at the PC side of things. So we'll see what happens there. But really, that was the biggest thing they said here is that the next generation is a console, but it is going to have full PC game access on it. So that's kind of the biggest change, is now you have all these PC games in there. It sounds like it's going to be like obviously it's going to run on Windows or whatever, but it's going to have access to like Steam and I guess Epic Game Store, any other storefronts you could imagine. So you can play games. Hopefully Steam is integrated well. We covered a rumor about that happening like a year or two ago at this point, that the next Xbox was going to have like Steam integration, which like who knows how integrated it's going to be now because Steam is coming out with their own actual like thing with the Steam machine. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, as I've said, like we kind of were hinted at this earlier that it was going to be a premium high end kind of thing. But obviously the confirmation of PC games here. What are your thoughts overall on Project Helix and just the next generation of Xbox? Excited? Not excited? Where are you at?
I'm pretty freaking excited. I mean, I feel like it's kind of hard to believe that the Xbox is so many years old now, because I remember queuing up for it and everything back in 2020, I guess. So 6-year-old console, holy smokes. But I am excited. I am. I'm not going to be when I look at that price tag, but
Yeah.
I do have that affinity and that sweet spot for trying to pick up a new console. And I remember when that Switch 2 was coming out, and I wasn't telling myself I was going to get it, but then when it was like 2 days before, the day before, I was like, I got to get it. The hype was there, the excitement was there. I was like, this is just, how often do you get to experience like a new console release? And it is a magical, exciting feeling. In a slight degree, maybe not as exciting as older
It's
consoles
diminishing
were.
returns for me at this point. Like I got the Switch 2 and it was like, all right, this is a Switch 2, but it
Yeah,
didn't blow my
yeah.
socks off. But I'm just old and jaded and starting to
Well,
fossilize, right? So it's hard.
and
But
that's what I'm hoping the Xbox, this Project Helix will do for me. I mean, the idea of it playing PC games, that gets me
yeah,
pretty
you have a pretty good
stoked.
PC game library, I feel like. So that's a big plus for you.
I do. I've got a fair few titles on the Steam, and so even the Epic Games Store, I got a whole bunch of
Mm.
titles on there. Oh my god! Because they were just putting up,
Just redeeming all the free stuff.
yeah, and they were putting
Nice.
some crazy good games in there for free.
They
So
do, yeah.
I mean, the thing that gets me excited is if I didn't want to start over like Predator Hunting Grounds. I played the living daylights out of that on PC on the Epic Games Store, and I'm super high rank, all the stuff unlocked. I did not want to have to restart it when they dropped it on Xbox. So now with Project Helix, it's like, okay, this is great. I can just log into my Epic Games front and then just put on Predator Hunting Grounds and just play it, and I get all my stuff back, and I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about anything. And most games are they're cross play. Not everything is cross progression, which is
Yeah.
fine. But if I can just log in on my main console with another account, then boom, cross play it up, and we're good to go. Let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm much less excited for this, mostly because of just what happened 3 or 4 months ago when Xbox drastically increased the cost of Game Pass, and then I unsubscribed to that at that point. Haven't jumped back on it. I plan to, when like Fable comes out or something, I'll jump in, subscribe for a month, but I haven't jumped back in yet. And just because of how crazy expensive this console is going to be, mixed with how crazy expensive the monthly subscription is to the main feature of why I would want the next Xbox in the first place, I think this is going to be a pass for me. I think the Series X is probably the last Xbox I'll ever own. Like maybe I'll get, if they keep doing the handheld stuff, maybe I'll get one of those down the road. If they keep making it better and get the price just right and it has that level of power, like because I could see that being something I would want, alongside a Switch potentially. But yeah, I don't think I'll get another Xbox home console, at least with the way things are going now or looking right now. I would definitely need them to do a huge price drop on Game Pass to make that a affordable thing I want to be in the ecosystem for. And I don't know, I feel like for years to come still, I will still have access to, like, I think it'll be a while before we get an exclusive game on the Helix. I feel like the Series X will probably run most things for a few years yet. So, yeah, I mean, even if this is a couple years away, I really have zero excitement for Xbox as a whole right now. I've barely even turned that thing on. I guess I played Resident Evil 6 on there, but since the price increased to Game Pass and I unsubscribed back in November, I don't think I've like booted up my Xbox at all. It's just collecting dust now, unfortunately, which is a bummer. But I got a few years of really good gaming for a really good value there, so still remember those times fondly. But now I'm kind of just mostly playing things on PlayStation or PC or something or Switch 2 still. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens here. This is kind of nothing was really unexpected here. I think the PC game, like full integration, makes a lot of sense for how the company has been going in the last few years, especially with all their games being kind of cross between PC and console. Now this probably helps a lot with development since they're making this thing even closer to a PC. I assume it makes that development process of like it's really not even making it for two separate platforms now. You just make it for PC and then we'll run on this. So that seems pretty smart in terms of the pipeline of getting games out the door and making games more affordable and hopefully therefore making sure that Xbox keeps their employees rather than firing everyone after they release a game. One can hope. Where do you think this is going to fall price-wise with the Steam machine? I would assume it's going to be higher, but also Xbox is making consoles forever. Steam not so much in that space, so who knows how the prices can get there. But yeah, where do you think this is going to compare to the Steam machine?
The Steam machine is there an official price on that?
I don't think we have an official price on that yet. It is supposed to be coming out this year still, apparently.
I'm gonna say the Steam machine is probably $1,500 because I feel like Steam is in
You
a
think it's
position.
$1,500?
I feel like it could be $1,500. Yeah.
Canadian.
No, American.
1,500 American?
I think so. I think
Whoa.
okay. It'll be between 1,000 to
They're gonna
1,500.
sell like 7 of those, but it's that expensive. I think.
I think with the amount of hardware that they have access to, creates a. They need to pump the prices up. You've got a lot of things, just in the world right now, economically speaking, prices are going up for a lot of things happening all over the place, lots of causes. So I think that's, again, going to drive the cost up for something like this. And so that's why I think 1,500 is probably like a safer bet. But as terms like with the Xbox, I mean, the Xbox was at least $999. I was seeing some reports. So I'm not sure where that'll kind of line. I think it'll be close, but I think it's going to come under the Steam box.
Interesting. Okay. I think I'm on the other side of this. I think they might, because they already have the Series X, which I imagine will be supported for years to come, And I don't think they're going to get rid of the Series S anytime soon either, even though it's like much weaker. I think they want the different price point options. And so I could easily see them supporting those for a while, even though they're not really selling that well. So maybe they'll discontinue them soon. Anyway, who knows? But I feel like they want that. They want like the super cheap option with the Series S, which is just like, flimsy piece of hardware at this point. A Series X, which is like, in that range. And then will be like the super high end. And so I think it's going to go pretty high up there. And so I'm assuming that something like a Steam machine is going to fall in between a Series X and the Xbox Project Helix thing. So I feel like Valve is going to go a bit lower. Also, the fact that it's coming out this year and this Xbox might not come out until next year or the year after. So you think that hardware and stuff, like the prices are just going to maybe go up even more, I think. So that might be part of it too. But who knows? Maybe Valve releases different SKUs like they did for the Steam Deck had different SKUs as well, which mostly I think was like screen and storage. But, I'm sure once again, when you factor those things in there, I'm sure there'll be a version of Helix that has like, 32 gigs of hardware space. So you can not even download one game, but it's like a bit cheaper than the version that has the terabyte and all that. So options, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I feel like this is also kind of reminding me how little I've heard anyone talk about the Xbox Ally. It took me even a second to remember what it was called there for a second, which I feel like is not a great sign. But I don't think I know a single person in the real world who has one of those, or even probably, I don't even know if I have a single friend who would know what an Xbox Ally is, other than like people who are doing video game podcasts.
When I think handheld, I'm just going to Steam Deck, to be honest. That's where my mind goes.
Switch and Steam Deck, yeah. Xbox not even in the competition. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to go well for them. I think it's going to be really expensive. I think it's going to sell horribly. And I just don't know who it's for. I mean, I guess, a lot of maybe they're just going after the whales. They're going after the whale market of gamers, which is, a viable business for a lot, like Marvel Snap. All they care about is the whales, and that's how they make their business. They don't make it off of everyone pitching it a little bit. They make it from a few people spending a fuck ton of money. And so maybe that's what Xbox is going for here. Like, hey, we're not going to sell as many copies, but the console's twice expensive as our last one, and the monthly subscription's now over twice what it was, a few years ago. So maybe that's where they get you, They need less people in the door because it's just so expensive for the people who are actually paying for it. So we'll see. Maybe that's their strategy, which, if that's the case, it's going to be less popular than ever, but maybe they can still make the profits work. We'll see what happens there. But I think really just, since this is so close to a PC, just get a regular PC.
That's
don't
right.
bother. Don't
That's
bother getting the Xbox One that's going to be limited in many ways over what an actual PC can do. So, but I guess, that's kind of been the case for Xbox, even in this generation. Here I am still enjoying my Series X, or at least I was until the recent price jumps. But yeah, that's really all there is for this for now. There isn't a ton of details at the moment. Any predictions you want to make out, or any other thoughts you had on Project Helix on this day here?
Whenever that drops, I think it's gonna drop with it'll drop with the new Halo game, Halo Combat Remastered or Reimagined, right? I imagine that'll probably be good timing. New
Well, that's gonna
Xbox
come out
console.
soon, right?
Is it? I thought that was is it a 2026? Or maybe it is a
I think
2026.
that's like in a couple of months or something. I might have made that up. I don't know.
Let me look. Halo Combat Reimagined.
Combat Evolved.
Oh, that's the
Wait,
one,
no,
not
it's evolved. It's
Reimagined.
called Campaign Evolved.
Campaign Evolved, yeah. Especially scheduled for 2026 release. Okay, you're right.
I don't know why
Yeah.
I thought it was so soon. I might be wrong about that, but
Cool. I mean, my other predictions, maybe a Gears of War game, something, maybe State of Decay 3. That would be kind of nice, but I think these games
God,
are just
hopefully
kind
that
of up
game's
in the
out
wind.
before this freaking Helix.
I would hope so. Good God.
I hope you get a good trade-in value on the Series X, because there's really no reason to keep your Series X, right? You'd probably bump that boy up and trade it in.
I would trade it in. Yeah, there's definitely no
With the
reason to
backup
keep
pat,
it.
there's not really any reason to keep an old Xbox.
No, and that's what I've done every generation up. I've traded in. So there's usually a grace period of about a month where I have no Xbox, because when I had the Xbox One, I traded that in for the Slim. And when I had the Slim, I traded my Slim in for... Oh, I don't even remember. I can't remember. So many models. But
Xbox
I usually
One
upgrade.
X, Slim, yeah. All those.
Was it the Xbox One X?
That was a thing that existed.
Xbox One X. Oh, yeah, baby. I did have one of those.
Yeah.
And then the
Stupidest naming schemes of all
Xbox
time.
One. And the Xbox One.
Do you think that the next because obviously Helix is just like a code name. Do you think it's going to have a better or worse naming scheme than they've had the last couple generations?
I want it to be Xbox 720. I'm still dying on that hill from 2010. Let's
I'm
make it
down.
happen.
I'm down. That
With
would
the
get me
blue
more hyped.
LEDs.
That would get me super hyped. 720. Right on.
Uh,
All right, Taylor, this is a fun episode. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back next week, of course, as we always are. Have a good rest of your week. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.